So now we start Genesis chapter 12, which starts the focus on Abram in the book of Genesis and continues with his descendants. And so God talks to Abram, and he tells him to leave his country and his relatives and his father's house and go to a land that he will show him. And this is very similar to me to how God called the disciples, that he told them to leave their boats, leave their family, and to follow him, and leave whatever they were doing and follow him. And I believe that's the call that God has for us. And I heard that call when I was 17. And it doesn't have to be a physical leaving, but just this emotional, mental, and just that my focus and my allegiance now is to God and whatever he has for me. And I believe God has that for you. And that's what it takes to be a disciple. You've got to be willing to consider God way more important than your family and those that you've considered most important in your life, and whatever you're used to, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever plans you had previously. When you come in contact with God, you've got to be willing to leave whatever it is you're comfortable with and go to what he has for you. And let me tell you, what he has for you is awesome. He knows what he's doing, and he has eternity in mind. And we should all be willing to give up whatever it is to follow him, or else we're not worthy of him. And Jesus said that multiple times. If you consider your family more important than God, then you're not worthy of God. And he even says this, that if you are willing, if you will lose your life for his sake, you'll find it. And so many people are not willing to do that. They're trying to keep their life. They're trying to keep these things that they know are temporary anyway, right? It's sad, but we're going to die. The people we love are going to die. And so the best thing we can do and family is from God. So the thing to do to preserve those things is to actually lose it for Christ's sake. Because if you lose it, then you'll find it. So if you're trying to hold something from God, you're going to find out you're going to lose it. But if you actually lose it for his sake, then you're going to find it. And I know that sounds weird, but that's how God works. If you trust him, you'll get it. And so what ends up happening in the story is that God gets way more than he leaves. I mean, Abram gets way more than he leaves. And that's how God works. If you will leave whatever it is, and in a lot of you, it's values. You can't leave your family's values because you know it contradicts God's values, but you're going to have to. Because if you're willing to lose it, you'll actually gain it. But if you can't give it up to God, you're going to lose whatever you try to keep from him.